All right, perfect. Let's keep going here. Next thing we are going to add, in fact, so here is where we left off, right? We have our weather title there, or weather title. We have the icon and we have the select native here, right? The little drop down list. And we also have here our text field and the search. Okay, so we are making strides here. So let's keep going. Okay, let's go ahead and create another method here. This method is going to be called dashboard title. Okay, so we're going to add this dashboard that will allow us to say currently in Spokane, for instance, and then we'll have an image as well as the temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I'm going to call this dashboard title. And yes, indeed, we have to create it. Let's go create method. Let's go ahead and fold this one here. This, as you can see, let's make this private, right? Like others. As you can see here, this is a very good feature. We can fold code that way as our code here gets longer or bigger, we can abstract all of the actual code out. But if you hover over, you can see all of the code inside. That's a very pretty neat feature. All right, on to the dashboard title. Let's create a horizontal layout here. I'm going to call it dashboard main. It's equal to new horizontal layout. I'm going to say dashboard main again. Oops. Dashboard main. I'm going to set the default here, center, alignment, middle center alignment, and then I'm going to add the label. This label is going to have the current temperature in Spokane, for instance, as an example. Okay, I'm going to say, however, I want to make sure that this is indeed also seen from outside the method. Okay, so I'm going to say current location title. Current location title is equal to new label. For now, I'm just going to say currently in Spokane, such. Now let's beautify our label here. I'm going to say that add style. I want to make it Valo theme label 2, right? The 2 is smaller than 1, so these numbers actually go the opposite way. The 1 is bigger, 2 is less bigger, and 4 would be obviously the smallest. Okay. Or if we want, we can use label large. But let's just go ahead and use the 2. All right, there we go. And next I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to say add style, say Valo, and I want to use the form layout light. So what this is going to do is going to make the color of the color of our label a lighter gray. Okay, so I'm going to say light. Where is it? Form layout light, or say label light as such. Okay, and next let's create the actual current temp label. Now this label here also needs to be at the top here because I want to be able to, in fact, let's see. I don't want this label to be out there. I can exchange here. I'm going to copy this because that will never change anyway. Oh, that's fine. So what I'm going to do at the top here, I'm going to just go ahead and say private label. I'm going to call this label current temp. And then I'm going to say here, instantiate it, current temp is equal, let's say new label. Just for now, I'm going to say 19F for Fahrenheit. Okay, let's beautify here. I'm going to say that add style. Again, Valo theme. I'm going to make bold. There we go, label bold. Look at that. I'm going to add another style here. Make the Valo that H1 label, okay, because I want this to be bigger actually, so H1. There we go. And then I'm going to say current temp that adds style. I want also to make it light, label light. There we go. Okay, once I'm done that, I'm going to add it to our dashboard here. Let's say dashboard, that add components. I'm going to add a few of them. The first one I'm going to add is the current location, title. And remember, this is going to be horizontal, so everything is going to be side to side, side by side. And I'm going to add current temp. And don't forget to add to main layout, dashboard. Okay. Let's give it a run. Refresh. And look at that. Wow, look at that. So now we have, it says currently in Spokane 19 Fahrenheit. Obviously, this will change depending on what they have entered at the top here. But you get the idea. So we are now creating the user interface, the backbones, the skeleton, if you will, of our user interface, which will then be populated dynamically, using the information from our API. Oh, very exciting. All right, so there we go. Now, the other thing we need to do here is I would like to add an icon right in the middle between the Spokane or the city name and the actual temperature. Because if you look at our data API here, you'll see that there's a few other things that we actually can get. If you look back, let's go back to our API. You remember this code that I told you, icon 11N? All right, so what is that? Well, that is actually, let's go back here to our weather API. All right, so inside of, let's say if you go by city and scroll down, you'll find, let's see, where is it? List of weather condition codes. So if you click on this list of weather condition codes, click that, you'll notice that we then have at the bottom here how to get icon URL. This is those codes that I was showing you here. Let's go to the API. So 11N would be which code? Let's say 11N will be this one here. So there's thunderstorm and it's pretty overcast. Okay, so by using this URL, let's open a new tab here. If we use that URL, you notice there's this very tiny, it's hard to see, but very tiny icon here, which is what we're going to use. But that is indeed added. If you put here 11N and enter, oops, I did the wrong one, 11N, as in letter N, and look at that. You see that icon? So if we append the code and say PNG, then we will be able to get this icon. So this will be great because then we'll be able to say, okay, what is the code that we're getting? If the code is 11N, then we will be able to adjust and add that image into our app. And all of that is going to be dynamically. Okay? So we will need this link here. So what I'm going to do now is, let's go back to our code here, is I'm going to create a new image, but now because we are getting it from a URL, from a URL, we need to do that as an external source object. I said that I wanted to make sure that I have the image between Spokane and the temperature, so about here. That means then I have to put it between the temp lab label and the text here. So, all right, so what I'm going to do actually is at the top here, I'm going to go ahead and create an external resource. I'm going to call this IMG. I'm going to set it to new external resource. Now, this external resource takes in a few parameters. The first takes in one parameter, which is going to be the source where we are getting this image. Well, we are getting this image from where? From this link. So I'm going to copy this link here, all of it. And it will change later to make it more dynamic. But for now, I want to drive a point home and this will work. So I remember again that we need this code here. So later when we dynamically are creating all of this, we will then have to pull this code here from our API icon, which is going to be the code. Okay, but for now, I just want to show you how to pull an image from an URL and put it inside of our app. In order for this to happen, I need to create an embedded, say embedded button here. I'm going to call this image. I'm going to call this, say, is equal to new embedded image or embedded. Okay, so what this takes, it takes in a caption. I'm going to pass a null because we don't need a caption for our image. And I'm going to pass the image from our external resource. Okay. So now I need to add it inside of our dashboard component here. I want it to be in the middle. I'm going to call this, what did I call? Image as such. Okay. If you save this, we should see an icon in our app. Refresh, and look at that. Voila. Very, very nice. And like I said, again, this will be generated dynamically. But for now, I just wanted to give you the taste and show you how to actually do that. Fairly simple, isn't it? So all you're doing here is we created the external resource. We call this image, and then we passed in constructor of our external resource, we pass in the actual URL where the image is. Okay? And of course, this will all be dynamic, but for now it works. And then of course, then we create this embedded class object we call image, and we pass null for caption, and then image here for our external resource where the image lives. Right? Very, very nice. All right, perfect. So we are making good progress here. The next thing we're going to do is to create another description dashboard at the bottom here, which will have all other information from our API. All right, stay tuned. I'll see you in the next video.